All right. Do you have your scripts?
Yes, sir. This is Matthew Holmes with the Board of Electrologists and Body Arts Practitioners Board. We are meeting. Oh, I messed that all up. The Board of Electrologists and Body Arts Practitioners meeting is convened at 10 o'clock a.m. on 11/6/23. This meeting is being held by MS Teams video conference and is being recorded. The recording will be posted to the internet for public viewing. The Health Licensing Office asks that individuals attending through MS Teams keep your phone muted and cameras off during the entire meeting until you are given an opportunity to comment during the public and interested parties feedback period if indicated on the agenda. Please do not use the chat feature during the meetings. I will now call roll. Matthew Holmes is present. Lisa Chambliss. Audrey Jones.
Present.
Ryan Othis.
Here.
John Dickerson. Nathan Morelli.
Here.
Paul Thomas.
Here.
Members, if you wish to speak, please state your last name for the record. Members are asked to not use the chat feature during meetings. Public members attending in person wishing to speak must first sign in on the roster sheet available. For public members on MS Teams, please email Carrie Edwards at carrie.edwards@oha.oregon.gov and provide your first and last name. Public and interested parties' feedback may be heard during the public/interested parties feedback period if indicated on the agenda. Everyone is asked to use appropriate language, manners, and protocols when conducting board business. This meeting is called to order.
Chair, members of the board, good morning. Happy Monday.
Good morning.
It's Bob Bothwell for the record. First item on the agenda will be approval of the agenda.
I don't know if you can. This is Lisa Chambliss. I move to approve the agenda.
If we can get a second, please.
That's Ryan Othis, a second.
All right.
Need a roll call.
Roll call, Chair, please.
Oh, copy. A motion has been made. I'll call the roll. Matthew Holmes, aye. Lisa Chambliss.
Aye.
Audrey Jones.
Aye.
Ryan Othis.
Aye.
Nathan Morelli.
Aye.
Paul Thomas.
Aye.
Motion has been
Excellent.
passed.
Thank you. Chair, members of the board, for the record, Bob Bothwell, current director of the Health Licensing Office. And I do want to introduce you real quick to Ann Thompson. She is going to be the policy analyst for this board moving forward. You want to step in so they can see you, Ann? Say hi.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ann Thompson. I've been with the office almost 10 years now. And as the office keeps getting more and more boards and programs, Sammy picked up the Sign Language Interpreters Board in the last legislative session. It's going to be a massive lift. So in order to facilitate your board and some of the things you want, I have gotten to the opportunity to work with you. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to talk to all of you as things come up, but be kind. I'm the new kid. Okay. Thank you all.
Okay, sorry, Chair, that wasn't on the agenda this morning, but thanks for accommodating us for that. The next item on the agenda is approval of meeting dates for 2024. Dates and times. Currently on the list, we have February 26th at 9 a.m. and October 14th at 9 a.m. If I can get the board to check their calendars to see if those dates are available to them. And we
Hey,
can,
Rob. This is Audrey.
yes, Audrey.
Yeah, the dates look good to me. I just want to let everyone know I am pregnant right now and due in April. And so I'm hoping everything goes as planned, but if it doesn't, I will let the board know if February is affected or if there ends up being extra meeting dates. I just want to let you guys know. I might be out of commission for a little bit.
Well, congratulations and thank you for letting
Thank
us know.
you.
This is
Yes.
Matthew Holmes. I also have a comment on the dates. At this moment, the dates look fine for me, but I also just started a new job that I will have 0 dictation on my schedule. I will be traveling extensively for unknown periods of time at unknown intervals. Just to put that out there. I'll do what I can to make sure that the board meetings are accounted for, but at this moment, I don't actually have that as a full guarantee.
Thank you for your transparency.
Absolutely.
All right, and this is Ryan Othis. As a heads up, this will be my last meeting due to health stuff. I can no longer serve the board. So yeah, from here forward, I don't know how we go about knocking me off the roster, but I've got other things I need to deal with right now.
He resigned, Derek.
Yeah, hey, Ryan, did you happen to send Derek Foltz an email?
No, I can do that as soon as we're done.
Yes, please do that. I'll drop them like flies. Next.
Yeah, this is my last meeting also. This is Lisa Chambliss. My term is up, so.
Yeah, yeah, we know. We're aware of that. Thank you for your service these last few years. Okay,
Been 7 or 8 years, yeah.
yes, it
It's been
has.
a good time.
There is acceptable. We will just adjust as we need to.
So, yeah, we'll adjust. As long as we have quorum, we're good to go. Okay, so if I could get a motion to accept the meeting dates and a second.
This is Audrey Jones. I motion to accept the meeting dates.
Second, please.
This is Paul Thomas. I second the meeting dates.
Chair, if we can get a roll call.
A motion has been made. I'll call roll. Matthew Holmes, aye. Lisa Chambliss,
Aye.
Audrey Jones,
Aye.
Ryan Othis,
Aye.
Nathan Morelli,
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Motion has been moved.
Passed. All right. Chair, next item on the list is a vote for chair and vice chair. Let me pull out some information here. Yeah. Got it. Okay, so Matthew, your term does end in February 21 of 2025. And so you'll be good through 2024 if your fellow board members decide that you should continue as the chair. Ryan Othis, he is going to come off the board, and he's currently the vice chair, so we'll need to elect a new vice chair. Audrey is in her first term and is good through March 14 of 2025. Lisa is coming off the board. John Dickerson is on the board and new first term till April 30, 2027, and he can reappoint. Nathan, also first term, and that term will expire March 28, 2027, and can reappoint. Paul Thomas, also first term, and that term expires June 29 to 2026 and can reappoint. So with all that information, and I can repeat any of it if anybody needs, we need to have a nomination for chair and vice chair.
This is Audrey Jones. I don't mind doing either as long as I have a little bit of grace in learning everything. So I don't mind if volunteering for either if anyone does not want to do it.
This is Matthew Holmes. I do have some concern about me continuing to be chair, given my potential inability to make it to a meeting. I don't want to hold you guys up. And again, I really can't guarantee much for the next, honestly, about year or so. After that, I should have a better handle on what my my life is going to entail.
Yeah, and this is Bob, Chair, and anybody for Vice Chair. That's why we have a Vice Chair. So if the chair is unavailable, Vice Chair will step in and we will do what we have to here at HLO we'll read scripts for whomever or get you prompted, and we can always do a phone call and have a discussion so folks are prepared. So, I mean, with that being said, does someone so Audrey's nominated herself for either. Does somebody want to add anything to it?
This is Ryan Otis.
Nathan Morelli. I could.
Sorry, Nathan, go ahead.
I was just saying I'd volunteer too, but I'm brand new as well. So as long as someone's willing to teach me, I can help.
We can help.
There we go. Yeah, this is Ryan Otis. I was gonna say, if anyone is uncomfortable with it, is there a way to do just like a pause, just assign 2 people temporarily until you fill the other rosters and have everything go? Like, I honestly think that everyone who's on the board can probably currently do whatever this is gonna, demand. But if anyone's uncomfortable with it, is there a way to do something like that?
I don't think it's necessary. We will coach and take care of whoever the board decides should be chair or vice chair. Paul,
I'm here for vice chair.
I'm sorry,
Here for vice chair.
your microphone's cutting out, sir.
I said I'll volunteer for vice chair.
Okay,
So Paul will volunteer as vice chair.
okay.
And we have Audrey in the mix.
And Paul. Okay, so a motion has been made. Well, I'm gonna make it, and someone can say so moved. Audrey for chair, Audrey Jones for chair, Paul Thomas for vice chair. And if somebody agrees, you can say so moved,
So moved. That's Matthew Holmes.
except for the chair. Nice
This is
try.
Ryan Otis, so moved.
Bob, this is Tina. You
Yeah.
had Nathan on there too. So you had 3 people, right? Or you had 3 people.
Oh, true. Thanks, Tina. Thanks for catching that. And so we have Nathan. So we need to back up a little bit. So, and Nathan would have done chair or vice chair. So board, you all can decide who you want to move into those positions, and then we'll do a motion and a vote. Lisa?
Are we nominating who to be chair and vice chair?
Yes.
I nominate Audrey Jones to be chair and Paul Thomas to be vice chair.
Okay.
Nominates Audrey, chair.
Paul for vice.
A second.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything to say?
This is Matthew Holmes. I would agree with Lisa Chambliss.
Right.
Can you do a second? I don't-
No, I can't do a second.
Nope, just chiming in.
Just voicing. Nathan? You want to add anything? Or Paul?
I don't even know if I can. I just threw my hand in there trying to help.
I appreciate it.
Same.
Ryan, I keep forgetting, I don't see your picture, so I keep forgetting about you. Sorry. Go ahead if you have something, Ryan.
Yeah. No worries. This is right on the sorry. I had to switch screens out of my Teams meeting, and now I don't know how to get back into it. So I'm using the call function. But I'm fine with Lisa as whatever, and then I'd go with Nathan for number 2.
I'm not quite sure what you tried to convey. You were agreeing with what Lisa nomination for Audrey and Paul?
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, sorry, Audrey. So I'm not good with names because I can't see faces right now either. Audrey and then Nathan.
Okay. Okay. This is a first. So Paul and Nathan, do one of you want to do it more than the other?
I think you guys should rock, paper, scissors for it. It's Matthew Holmes.
I like being the only piercer out here to have a voice for us. We seem to be lonely on this board.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So Nathan and Paul are both piercers.
yep.
Nice.
So
Well, that doesn't help anything then, does it?
well, I mean, so if either one of you is vice chair, it's up to you two, or and the rest of the board, of course.
I mean, Paul's been here longer. He knows what's going on. I'd go for Paul for now. Yeah. If he's not feeling it later down the road, I'll step in.
Good, brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as I understand it, there's a motion for by Lisa, Audrey for chair, Audrey Jones for chair, and Paul Thomas for vice chair. Can I get a second?
I second the motion.
That was Paul.
Seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we need a roll call.
Roll call. Chair, please.
A motion has been made. I'll call the roll. Matthew Holmes, aye. Lisa Chambliss,
Aye.
Audrey Jones,
Aye.
Ryan Othis,
Oh, it is 10:18, and it looks like we lost Ryan, but we still have quorum.
Nathan Morelli,
Aye.
Paul Thomas. The motion has been passed.
Okay, so it's unanimous except for Ryan didn't vote, correct?
Right.
Sorry, I just popped off. This is random. It's my thing shut
I
down. I'm
gotcha.
back. I'm back. Whatever the vote is, yes, I agree. Let's just
Okay.
move past that.
Back at 10:18.
Yeah, he wasn't gone very long.
And he voted yes for the chair and vice chair.
Correct.
Got it.
All right. Next on the agenda, Chair, if you want to move on, is the director's report. So some of you may recall receiving emails and hearing the name of Carrie Edwards. She's filling in for April, who you used to hear from for the time being. And she's been with us. How long have you been with us, Carrie? A year and a half. And she works over in qualifications, so you may have heard her over there from her over there as well. So in the meantime, while April is out, Carrie is going to fill in for her, so you'll be hearing from her. All right, I'm trying to multitask here. Sorry. All the the audience is probably thinking, what's he doing? Okay. So, next item on the list, and I was looking for it, was my report. I'm trying to bring it up so the folks in the audience can see it. There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And they can't see it.
Share your screen.
So chair and members of the board, I'm going to share my screen so the audience can see what we're talking about. We don't have the pleasure of having folks in the audience very often, so I totally spaced bringing all this information up. All right. So the first item, Chair, if you're okay with it, is with the director's report is the.
Bob, all
Yes.
we can see is your calendar.
Oh. How's that?
Not yet.
No, it's on the wrong side.
Hey,
Okay, well, the audience can't see it. Well, isn't that special? Okay, are you? Why is this? Sorry, everybody.
just a suggestion. We should
Yes.
get some printouts for them because usually with this board, we
Right.
do have audience members.
Do we have some? Huh?
Do you want me to print it or do you want me to?
Just bring it up on the screen if you can get it, because apparently.
Well, that screen I can't, but I can pull it up to the board. And you can pull yours up on there.
Okay.
She'll be
Oh,
showing
okay.
this to the board. You
All
can
right.
have it here for the public.
Okay. Sorry for the mass confusion. Okay. No, Carrie's sharing it for the board. Sorry, guys. Yes, I can see it in the meeting. Okay.
License fiscal, go on to that.
So we will go down to licensing and fiscal, Carrie, please. There we go. All right, now the next one. Next two, down to slide 14. Okay. So what we have are fiscal years from 22, 23, and 2024. I'm going to go in a little in depth because of the new board members and the audience here. So with the state, the fiscal year starts June 1 of 1 year and excuse me, July 1 of 1 year and ends July 30 of the following year. So, and this is how we operate is on fiscal years. So quarter 2 of fiscal year 2024 will be September, October, and November of 2023. We've had issued 24 licenses. Quarter 3 and quarter 4 show up, but we're not in those quarters yet. So there's no data. These numbers will increase because as you can see in the previous years, quarter 3, quarter 4, we usually increase by 100. And these are tattoo licenses issued only.
This is where
Next.
I know this is, are those new issues? Like each one of
Yes.
those columns, new licensed professionals?
Correct.
So there was 116 in Q1 new licensed professionals in the state.
Correct. Between July 1, August, and the end of September, 116 licenses issued for tattoo artists.
Roger that. That is a lot. Thank you.
Standard body piercing in quarter one, we've had 6, quarter two, we issued 1. Earlobe piercing technicians, quarter one, we issued 15. Quarter two, we did issue 5. Electrologists, quarter one, we issued 4. In quarter two, we issued 1. For renewals, this particular one here shows in blue, if anybody sees the blue, and then for the audience, the tan colored are online. So we have a good mix of paper renewals coming in and online. But online is increasing, which is a good thing. And so for the same quarter for renewals, body piercing, or excuse me, standard piercing, 26 were online, 8 were by paper, and in quarter two, we've had 1 online, 1 renewal so far in quarter two. Earlobe piercing technicians, quarter one, 9 by paper, 9 online, 5 by paper, and quarter two, we've had 3 online. And those are earlobe piercing technician renewals. Electrologist renewals, the vast majority of these folks renew by online. In quarter four, there was 13. Excuse me. Yes, in quarter four, there was 13, and in quarter one of 24, there was 21, and we haven't had any renewals in quarter two of 24 yet.
Hello,
Yes.
come in.
Who came on?
This is Matt
Okay.
Holmes. It looks like a call-in is
Yeah, I'm
lighting
seeing
up.
that. Yeah, I'm seeing that. We have them muted. So licensing trends, as you can see, for body art facilities, we continue to grow with 943 as of quarter two, 2024. Earlobe piercing technicians, relatively static, bounce between 99 and 125, which is where we stand today. Specialty 1 and 2 is relatively static as well, and maybe growing. Electrologists is on an upward trend, which is good, with 86 in quarter two. Tattoo artists, upward trend as well, with 2,223 licensees. Standard body piercing, relatively static since quarter one of 23, between 80 and 81, or excuse me, between 78 and 81, 81 is where we stand today. Age and gender, looks like a good mix. And age is a relatively young profession. Test results. So we do, so there's a body piercing written exam and a tattoo written exam. And you can see that a vast majority pass on both tests. Financials, for 2024, the beginning cash balance was $1,779,599, and Revenues and expenditures. Revenues have exceeded expenditures, and net operations with any cash balance of $1,089,390. Any questions? Matthew, if you're talking, you're muted.
Thank you. This is Matt Holmes. I was just saying good job. Yeah, looks like everything's staying pretty tight.
Yes, thank you. All right, regulatory report. This is for investigations. And Trampus, are you on the line? I cannot tell if you are or not.
I am.
Good morning.
Good morning. So this is Travis Shuck. I'm the interim regulatory manager, and I'm here to talk about the body art electrology regulatory report. This is basically showing all of the open cases and all of the cases that we've received over the biennium that we have open cases. So as you can see, we have 3 biennium on here. The 2025 biennium is the current biennium, which we have been in for just a couple of months, actually. So that's why you see the kind of the way those numbers are playing out. I can just kind of go over it real quick. The 2021 biennium, that's the oldest. In that biennium, we received 109 complaints for this board, and of those 109, we have 18 that are still open. Now that number, I just want to put out there that open can just means they haven't been completely closed. They could be in various stages of review or getting things ready to be closed. They may not be actively investigated, and a lot of those cases in that time frame probably are in that category. And then you can see the 2023 biennium. We actually only received 56 complaints. We received a lot in that 2021 biennium. For some reason, we had kind of a bump. Of those, 30 are still open. And then the 2025 biennium, you can see we received 19 and 17 are still open. But that's what you would expect because those cases have come in the last couple of months, and it does take a little while to get them through the process. Complaints by type, you can see that there were that the vast majority of the complaints that come in for this board are actually licensing concerns, and licensing concerns as a category basically could be anything from an inactive or an unlicensed person. Again, I can just say through, just kind of the general trend that I see is that it's mostly unlicensed. So a lot of the cases that we get in for this group in general are unlicensed activity. 125 of them out of 184 of them have to do with a licensing problem. Again, mostly unlicensed. And then you can see the complaints by type. Of the 184, 39 were anonymous, which just means we just don't even know who they are. 26 were clients. So that's pretty self-explanatory. It was the person who actually received the services. And then other is 119. That means they gave us their name, but they weren't the client. They could be somebody filing on behalf of a client. They could just be somebody saying, "Hey, I saw this tattoo person advertising on Instagram and they're not licensed." That could be just any kind of third party is that other. And you can see overwhelmingly that's the largest category that we get for your group. Does anybody have any questions about the regulatory report or get any more detail or information I can give you?
This is Ryan Othis. I'm wondering, do you have an aggregated total of how many complaints have been made that aren't going to be registered on here? Is everything that is complained about reported and recorded on this, or is it only things that actually fall within the purview of investigation or whatever that are going to actually be showing up on this?
That's a really good question. Anytime we get a complaint that is coming in that has to do with body art or electrology, or they've named it as such on the sheet, on the complaint form, it will get registered, opened, and given a case number in our system, and it will show up on this report. Some of those complaints don't meet a threshold for, either they're complaining about something that isn't our jurisdiction, or they're complaining, or it's just, we don't have enough information, like it's just a incomplete complaint, we can't open and investigate it. It will get opened and then closed, under, lack of jurisdiction, or for whatever reason we can't or are not able to move forward with it. That happens, but those would be counted in this report.
All right, thank you.
Trampus, this is Bob. Can you, for the new board members, and the audience, can you give them a quick rundown, anatomy of an investigation? For example, we get the complaint, and then what happens from that point?
Sure. So we get the complaint, it comes in, and it goes through we have two staff members that are kind of all the paper that comes in and all the paper, I say paper loosely, all the information that comes in and all the information that goes out go through those two, and also a lot of it through me as well. So when we get a complaint, we have to kind of assess it, see if we have jurisdiction, see what type of complaint it is, see what the best course of action moving forward is, and whether that be assign it to an investigator, or if it's just something that can be handled through an inspection, we may just assign it to an investigator and then have an inspector, have our inspection team do an inspection of the facility. Sometimes that will actually resolve the complaint. But if it has anything more to do than that, it will get assigned to an investigator, and they'll go through the process of investigating. If it's unlicensed, they'll try to determine who the person is, see if there's any actual evidence that we can hold on to, that we can use to move forward with. So they'll do inner searches, they'll do interviews with the complainant if they're available, they have additional information, with the client if there is a client involved, and then we'll try to also do interviews with the person that the complaint is actually against, and then once we've gathered all the information and put together, it comes back through my office, where I look at it and see if there's enough to either it's going to get closed as unsubstantiated, or it's going to move over for like a disciplinary action. Most of your disciplinary actions, most of the time, your complaints fall in the violations that do occur fall within your civil penalty schedule. So unlicensed activity, for example, there's a set civil penalty for it, and that's just laid out in rule. So that's not something that needs to come back to the board for review. But if we had a situation where there was an injury, say somebody got an infection, and they should, or somebody did something wrong in their process, or there was something that was outside of that civil penalty schedule, professional conduct, negligence, that type of thing, we would bring it to the board. We would have an executive session. We would present that information to the board, and the board would then make a decision on what they wanted to do, what you wanted to do with that situation, whether or not it was a violation, what types of sanctions, if any, would be involved. Like I said, though, most of your cases, most of the investigations will close off and be dealt with a set civil penalty of some sort that's already in rule. Because you guys have an extensive inspection process, and that kind of necessitates the civil penalty schedule, because they're out there when they see something, an inspector will write a citation on the come back to the office and write a citation, and it doesn't have to all go to the board. They're already set. So, but if it does have to go to the board, then you all decide, and then we send out the notice and go through that process. So
Excellent, thank you. Does anybody have any questions with regards with what Trampus just laid out for us?
Huh?
Right.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Trampus. All right. Next item on the list is policy. I will get it out of the way, and I'll let Ann come in.
Good morning again, everybody. This is Ann Thompson. What we have is an update on the body piercing exam. Carrie Edwards actually is involved with that. And would you like to provide that? Thank you so much.
That's already done.
And then there's the public comment.
Thank you.
Good morning, Carrie Edwards, everybody. Like Bob said earlier, I'm also on the qualification side. So I'm doing the board specialist duties as well as the education side. So the body piercing item writing committee met early in October, I believe, or late in September. And we reviewed about half of the questions so far. I still have to edit the rest of those and get those finalized. And then we'll probably have one more meeting with that committee. And then it should be finalized by the time we get to your guys' next meeting. Any questions about that process?
Oh,
That's about all I have. So
Fantastic.
ready for policy?
Mhm.
All right. Sure. I'm going to close down my screen sharing. And Sherry, you have a script to read for public interested parties.
This is Matthew Holmes. I sure do. At this time, the Board of Electrologists and Body Arts Practitioners will hear public/interested parties' feedback. Members of the public, this meeting is being held by MS Teams video conference and is being recorded. The recording will be posted to the internet for public viewing. Please be sure to mute your microphone and unmute only when you have been recognized. Once recognized, please state your name and affiliation to the board for record.
Okay. We had noticed that Sheila Ahern wanted to make public comment. Sheila, are you out there?
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I'm Sheila Ahern. I'm an electrologist in Portland and the legislative chair for the Oregon Association of Licensed Electrologists. And at the last meeting in public comment, I asked if they could be, if you're thinking about it, if it's possible to put the list of trainers on the the HLO website. And I looked again, I don't see it there. I can click on, I can see all the students that have taken the temporary student license out, but I don't see a list of instructors or supervisors. And I don't know if you've announced those to the board. I wasn't able to chime in on the earlier part of the meeting. So if you've shared that information with the board, or how you're getting the information out for anybody who is looking for a trainer. And you thought maybe you'd be able to put things on the website. So I'm curious to see how that's going, if it's possible, and if you could even let me know who has signed up to be a trainer, or if there's a facility involved, and all those things. That's my question.
Okay. Thanks, Sheila. Typically we don't respond to public comment, but I will. I've heard it come up, and I will check with the individual that does our website for us and see what we can do with that.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Let's see. We also in the audience have Brenda Cox. If you can, so the board can hear you, please. Go ahead.
My name is Brenda Cox, and I am the Oregon Electrology, the Oregon Association of Licensed Electrologists new president. I was here at the last meeting, but I just wanted to put another face to the name again, because I am new to all this as far as this kind of capacity. I've been an electrologist for over 30 years. So I know that there's a lot of changes coming about, and I appreciate the question that Sheila had asked, because that was on my mind too, is how are we going to know so we can let people know that when we get phone calls, who we can send them to? Or are we supposed to send them here to the state to ask that question to going forward?
Carrie? Okay. All right, so on our website, you have Carrie's email address, but we'll, talking to our website or our webmaster, I will talk with her and see, what we can get lined out, because we do, HLO is under the health authority, so we have parameters that we can, what we can put on our website and all, so
Okay.
it may take a little while, but we'll work on it, and we'll reach out to you and let you know what's going on.
Okay,
And Sheila.
that's great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, next on the list was Olivia Britt Sweet.
I have a statement prepared from Reform Oregon Tattooing, who we usually attend most of the meetings, so we just wanted to kind of just essentially just read the statement of where we're at right now. So we have been attendance either, sorry, I'm reading and trying to do this at the same time. So we have been in attendance either in person or online for almost every HLO board meeting or for electrology, tattoo, and body piercing for the last 5 or 6 years. We have galvanized our community, read statements from former students, held community meetings, and have repeatedly asked how we can further our cause to reform in regards to tattoo schools and the current curriculum, tests, etc. Very few tattoo schools in the Portland metro area are holding up their end of the bargain to their students. It's no secret that most are unsupervised, even though there is a requirement for instructors to directly oversee the first 10 procedures and be available for the rest. With the antiquated formal complaint process and unbalanced power dynamic within the schools, most students don't feel like they can complain to the school while they are attending for fear of retaliation. They are rushed through, unsupervised, largely dependent on each other, and ill-equipped to handle the hygiene, tools, and ins and outs of the trade. During the pandemic, folks enrolled in schools and then created private studios immediately after, spaces with no peers, oversight, or protection for their clients from poor decision-making or bad behavior. We are aware that the business of trade schools is to license, not to teach competency, but without an apprentice, journeyman, or internship requirement for permanent body art, that lack of competency can come with dire consequences for the public. The client assumes that if an artist is licensed, they are a professional, but in Oregon, this is unfortunately couldn't be further from the truth. We, as the artists who own shops, hire people out of tattoo schools and see and hear from other peers what their experiences are, or lack thereof, know that the tattoo schools operate however they please, despite whatever lip service they give you in the state office. They sign the paperwork, send you the money, collect the money from their students, and the staff at the HLO high fives over our unchecked growth in an industry that's becoming quickly unsustainable. To date, all of our efforts to get focus and attention of the health department to assist us in reforming the system have been delayed, dissolved, or otherwise brushed aside. Our sector brings in so much money for the state with our license tests, renewals, etc. The other 2 trades we share the board with are incredibly valid as well and have gotten substantial attention to adjust their issues, rightfully so. Is there a reason why this industry that brings the most to the table, the most revenue, and has the most licensees gets the least amount of focus? Our efforts to create any meaningful change have so far only brought online payment options for guest licenses and the freedom to hold seminars. In 5 years of showing up, those are the only tangible things we have gotten accomplished. If we do get the chance to adjust the aspects of tattoo schools that aren't working, or to even usher in an independent mentor pathway similar to electrology, we would be so grateful. We aren't seeking to abolish schools, although that is a popular sentiment among tattooers.
So we asked you guys after a half a decade, showing up every chance we get, engaging and asking questions, does this office want to help us? Can we count on you to listen to us? We don't get paid for any of this and organize out of our own pockets to try and help our community, but it gets harder and harder to do so after years of discouragement. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, who would like to speak is Toma Mueller.
Toma Mueller. I own and operate Anatomy Tattoo, and I have had a tattoo school there for about 5 years now. I also work with Olivia and Jess at the ROT. I also prepared a statement. I'll try to make it quick. I believe that the sheer permanence of tattooing should require more schooling. For the past 5 years, we've been coming and trying to make meaningful change to the industry, and it's been a very frustrating process. Lack of rigorous licensing requirements for tattoo artists in Oregon has led to an influx of inexperienced and unqualified individuals entering the industry. And this has resulted in a number of problems, including reports of cross-contamination, unsafe working conditions, and a decline in the overall quality of tattooing in Oregon. I feel that the industries that share this office with us, hair, body piercing, they have so many more hours we do. And so we're just looking for the ability to go back in and review the testing process and the process as a whole. That's about it. Olivia said everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Chair, the next item on the list is other board business. Is there anything that the board would like to discuss or have HLO look into for your next meeting?
This is Matthew.
Oh,
go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, I was just gonna try to second what ROT had said because I've due to my health stuff, I've ended up moving closer to home and working full time down in Portland. And recently, I've started working at a shop where the majority of the new tattoo artists are all freshly out of school, and there is quite a few here, just south of 40 in total, who are part-time employee. They're contracted employee here, and every single one of them universally has had complaints about the status and situation of the schools in Oregon. I'm seeing the numbers up there of 100 plus new licensees popping up every quarter. That seems like an unsustainable amount of growth inside of the industry, and I think that realistically there should be some major pressures put on with the new board members and with the future board going forward to look at the state of tattooing and what it is, and hopefully put in some effort to fix what is seemingly broken through other people's eyes that are in it.
Chair, staff member Tina Russell has her hand up.
Yeah, Bob, on those reports, I would like to find out if that's also including temporary tattoo licenses.
Okay.
Because if it is, that's why the numbers are high.
So my understanding, we need a further breakdown for the next board meeting of what licenses they are. Is that what I'm
Yes.
understanding? Okay.
Yeah, from temporary to tattoo license.
Yeah. Sure.
So I was wondering, this is Matthew Holmes. I was wondering if I could touch down on a small section on HLO's website. There was a comment about not being sure where to find a list of instructors for electrologists, and that it was not able to be found on the website. And a quick Google search took me to the electrologist license information, and about halfway down that page, there's a blue link that says HLO approved supervisors, and that list was updated this year. So that list is available on the website, and all I did was Google Oregon Health Licensing Office, electrologists, instructors, just to put the information out there to anybody that might need that information.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Nathan.
Hey, this is Nathan Morelli. I had a quick question. Is it to my understanding that we are not holding piercing proctored exams anymore, the actual practical examinations?
We are doing practicals, yes. Carrie, you want to come over here and
Yes.
answer that? This is her field.
And I'm sure Paul can answer that question as well. Hi, this is Carrie again. So I actually send out the body piercing practicals. So yes, we are still doing them. We just switched up the process a little bit. So basically, I currently have a list of approved proctors, and anytime somebody is needing a practical, I basically contact the proctor, get them set up, and then they do it at the proctor's actual facility. And then they send me back the information once it's been completed.
Awesome. There was a lot of piercers reached out, and they were concerned that instructors were now self-proctoring their own apprentices. And then obviously that could be corrupted so easily. You know, obviously my student's amazing. Check.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think it was misinterpreted. So I was just going to confirm with a bunch of people, no, instructors are not signing off on their own apprentices.
Yes, so that is actually the process for somebody that is an approved trainer. They do actually proctor the practical at the end of their training.
But doesn't that strike as an issue? Having your own apprentice, you know, I mean, who wouldn't sign off on their own apprentice? I like the third party proctoring was great because, you know, they weren't going to benefit from this.
But at the same time, why would a school or a trainer put somebody out in the field that doesn't know what they're doing?
Money, plain and simple. And we have plenty of people weekly come in with horribly botched piercings, and they all have the same thing. You know, just that third party is great to hold someone responsible. I know I wouldn't take an instructor at first as being responsible enough to teach somebody. Becoming an instructor is fairly simple in the state. It's just a piece of paper. Nobody's really double checking our instructors to make sure they're even qualified to teach.
So if you look at the regulatory report, and the reason we went that direction is because we do not have the complaint base to say otherwise. If there's botched piercings, we're not hearing about it. So we made a change to benefit the board, to benefit folks, instead of trying to come all the way from Ontario to Salem for proctoring to and without the complaints, we saw no reason not to have
I see.
the instructors do the proctoring.
I think we could see an issue in the future. It's just it's a concern for so many in the industry. And I understand that you don't have the complaints yet.
Well, to be honest with you, if you look at the complaints that we do have for this board,
it's tattooing related, right?
Well, no. They're actually very light, you know, and the most of them are unlicensed, and I can speak from experience because I was the regulatory manager up until 2 years ago about unlicensed are folks, some that are not even in the state, that are posting on social media platforms, and people that are just out, out in the neighborhood doing it. We're not getting the complaints on piercing. We don't get complaints on infections. We're not getting complaints on bad tattoos. That's the reason why we went this direction, so we can get folks licensed. We were also getting the complaint that you guys don't have enough practicals for us, or I can't, if I don't come, if I'm done with school in December, folks don't want to drive to Salem from Ontario, Bend, or Central Oregon and have to deal with the snow on the passes until spring.
Sure.
So so we made this decision to make it a happy medium. And we do monitor the complaints, and if we do get the complaints, then of course we'll, look at adjusting it.
It's a smaller industry, so it's just a lack of infrastructure can't really enforce that. I get it. I mean, I wish we could hold practicals every quarter. There's just not enough piercers to demand that.
Right.
Yeah.
Chair, this is your board. You can speak up anytime you want. And you're muted, sir. Still muted.
I thought I hit the button. This is Matthew Holmes. This kind of highlights an issue that I've been trying to help work on in a more business scenario than dealing with the board, is helping teach people who have experienced subpar, inadequate, or unsafe work how to advocate for themselves. A lot of people either don't know that they can file a complaint with HLO, they don't know how to go through that process, they don't know how to find that information, nor should they necessarily be expected to. We're the professionals. So if you're seeing botched piercings or unsafe tattoos or any sort of problem in our industry, part of fixing that problem with that person could definitely be providing them the information that they need and allowing them a pathway to report that to the board. So if these problems are happening as much as, frankly, I have seen them, they at least have the ability to make the reports that we need to be able to make a change. You can't make somebody make a report, but you can at least make it very, very easy for them to do so.
Of course.
That's all I had to say.
I see it fall on deaf ears is the struggle. So you hope to stop it before it gets to that point.
Okay, Paul, and then we'll go to Tina.
Hi there. Paul Thomas, I'm a approved supervisor and a proctor for piercing. And I literally keep complaint forms available because I have so many clients come in with bad botched piercings from other shops. It is a problem we do have. It's such a small amount of piercings right now in our community that it's not as well reported, I think. I do believe that it's a problem we will have to probably address in the future, because right now I know that I'm not passing people that can't successfully be piercers, but I know there are other shops that are probably less reputable. So that's a problem we probably will have happen in the future.
And Tina?
One of the other things, the tattoo schools have been brought up also. Part of it is you have to start with HEC on a tattoo school unless it is regarding safety sanitation, then it happens with us. But we do work with HEC on any involvement when it comes to tattoo schools and them not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Same with electrology and same with body piercing. So it would be wonderful if somebody could open up a body piercing school. Every time I get a chance to talk to somebody that comes in here, I always suggest somebody needs to open up a body piercing school. That's it.
This is Lisa Chambliss. Can you define HEC for those that might be new to the board?
It's Higher Education Coordinating Commission, and they're the ones that license the schools. I know that there has been talk about us reevaluating the curriculum, which will come in due time, probably this next year. I know that Strength has been talking about that, but HEC is abbreviated for Higher Education Coordinating Commission.
They regulate the schools. And I see Sammy Patnode's hand is up.
Hi, yeah, or HLO doesn't really have anything to do with the regulation of schools. That's important to note, even in the safety sanitation realm. Now here's where it gets weird, is that most tattoo schools have a facility license, right? That isn't the case in other professions, so those cross over. But as far as the school goes and how people are taught and how they learn, that's all under the Higher Education Coordinating Commission. I mean, that's just how it is. Prior to the body piercing program being in the council for before they're part of tattoo and electrology, there was a requirement that you provided every client who got a piercing, the information on how to make a complaint. So you can definitely go back to that rule. But it was a choice that the newfound board made to not do that. That's it.
Thanks, Sammy. Okay. There's some information. More.
Bob, you're cutting out. We can't hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not muted. Might be bandwidth. So, Chair, if there's no other board business, you can adjourn the board meeting.
I just want to say thank you all. It's been a great couple terms.
Thank you, Lisa.
It's wonderful,
Thank
wonderful
you.
having you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, same for me. Thank you, everyone.
And Ryan, yes, thank you. Oh, there you are. I don't think I've ever seen your picture till today.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being with us, you guys. All right, the Board of Electrologists and Body Arts Practitioners meeting is adjourned at 11:06 on 11/6/23.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. It's good to see you guys again. Sorry I missed the last one.
Later. Nice meeting everyone.
You too.